if I were to give you $1 million advance for your record, as your record sells, all that money goes to me. 100% of those royalties go to me as the label until you earn back that $1 million. And that sounds cool until you look at how they do things. I'll give you an example of what record companies do, and they'll never admit this. This guy's an independent promoter. He promotes records, say, on the East Coast, New York, Philly, DC, Baltimore, whatever. That's what he does. He charges me 40 grand to work the East Coast for your record, right? I tell him to send you, well, me really, but send your manager a bill for 200 grand, right? He only charged me 40. I'm gonna give him another 20 to tell that lie. So here's 60 grand, tell him you charge me 200 grand. What does that mean to you? Now you owe me 1.2, not 1. So when I get, the rest of that money is gravy. I'm making money and he's making money, and that's what I hate about the business. It's sad, but that's what goes on. You know, the payola issues, paying, radio stations to play you. A lot of companies got tagged for that, So what Clear Channel did to get around that is they go and take you, the artist, because you're not making any money, because he and I just kind of screwed you out of another 120 grand or whatever. So you go and you say you're in Chicago. Clear Channel owns a station in Chicago. Payola is illegal. In other words, what I mean by that, I can't give him 20 grand to pay the big station in Chicago to play your record. Those days are gone. But what Clear Channel can do, because they own the radio station, they can say, you do this show that you would otherwise charge me $20,000 for, you're gonna do it free so I can play your record. That's still payola, but the artist gets screwed, and those are the things about the business that nobody talks about, because if an artist signed to a label talks about it, he probably won't be an artist signed to a label the next morning. So that's the kind of stuff that you really have to watch out for.
Told y'all about Sir Mix-a-Lot, man. If y'all know who he is, you ain't done the research yet, I'm telling you, go listen to this dude. He has no reason to not give this advice. He's not signed to a label. His time has kind of passed for him as an artist. He's just an OG who is getting paid off of songs from the 90s and some from the 80s continuously. And he's schooling us, man. Go watch this nigga's content. Don't say you wasn't told.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
My name is Dorian from Group82Music.com, and right here we got Sir Mix-a-Lot talking about how radio stations get around payola. So these big events, these big festivals, Summer Jam at Hot 97, Powerhouse at Power 105, or anything that's going on in your city that are sponsored by these radio stations. So there was a law that was passed probably in the 40s, 50s, 60s, I don't fucking know, where DJs could no longer accept money, program directors could no longer accept money from record labels to pay a record. You know what? I'm gonna give y'all the definition for payola. Payola in the music industry is the illegal practice of payment commercial radio in which the song is presented as being part of the normal day's broadcast without announcing that there has been consideration paid in cash or in kind for its airplay adjacent to the recording's broadcast. Okay, what does that mean? That means that you can't take money without saying you took money to play the record. So I guess if a motherfucker can say they took money, it can happen. But this happened in the 50s and the 60s. It was a big fucking deal. Everybody was mad, whoop-de-whoop. And y'all probably thinking like, why the fuck everybody so mad about that? Because back then, the only way people could listen to music at home or in their car was through the radio. Wasn't no cassettes, wasn't no CDs, wasn't none of that. And this is before vinyl would come out. It had to like really, really be a thing for it to go to vinyl. So the only way that a record label could get in front of audiences through the radio stations. So the radio stations had a monopoly. And record labels, like all of them back then, were paying DJs to play the record, because if you play the record, it gets popular. Now when we sell the record through vinyl, it blows the fuck up. We go up the bullshit charts, and now we can go on tour and we get rich off of masters and publishing and all that. This changed, right? But the record labels still did it. It still happens to this day. And they found a way around it. Okay, you know what? We can't accept payment to play that artist. But what we can do is this. Listen, we got Summer Jam at Hot 97 in New York. And we need artists for that. It's a concert. We want people to perform. You want us to play your record, right? Yeah, okay. Come do our show for free. What? I get $100,000 a show. You want me to play the record? Come do the show for free. So they come do the show for free. Hot 97 charges you a ticket for $50, $75, $100 to come to that show, to come see me. I perform. Now I'm in good with Hot 97. Now they're going to play my record for the year. But if you say, hey, I get $100,000 a show, I'm not about to do that show for free. Okay, we ain't going to play your record. We'll play Dorian some more. And now Dorian gets more radio spins. Dorian gets more royalties off his record. Dorian gets more publishing off his record. Dorian goes up the charts because they include radio spins in this era of music, which is so fucking stupid. And now it looks like Dorian is the bigger artist than you. But what it really was you didn't want to compromise your business and artistic integrity to sell out to basically do backdoor payola shit. Happens all the time. Happens every fucking day at these major commercial radio stations. A lot of y'all think playlist placement is payola, but y'all don't know the definition of payola. Playlist placement is marketing. There isn't a monopoly anymore on if someone's going to listen or like your song or not. Back in the days in a radio station where payola was prevalent, there was a monopoly. There were no other choices. Now there are choices. They can listen to the radio. They can watch TV to get music, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. They got on-demand streaming. There's so many places they go to listen to music. So just because somebody puts you on a Spotify playlist, that doesn't mean someone's going to listen to it. That's not payola. That's marketing. And it's not illegal. If you aren't marketing your music, how in the fuck do you expect to get heard? Answer me that in the comments. If you don't pay for playlist placements, if you don't market your music, how do you expect your music to get heard? And on top of that, record labels are paying for playlist placements too. They're doing the exact same thing. They might not say it, but they're doing it. The backdoor route for them is they have equity stake in Spotify, the actual fucking streaming service. So if Universal owns 5% of Spotify and Drake drops his album, who's a Universal artist, you better be fucking sure that Spotify is going to add Drake to all the playlists that they can because Universal owns 5% of the platform. So how do you expect to compete with that? When you learn the game, you understand this shit. When you understand this shit, you know when you spend your money. And if you're an artist, you gotta spend your money on marketing and promotion. Period. And that doesn't mean it's gonna work. That doesn't mean people are gonna listen to your music, that they're gonna stream it, that they're gonna save it. It doesn't mean that. But it does mean this. You can't score no buckets if you ain't on the fucking floor. You can't make the All-Star game if you're not in the fucking starting lineup. Unless you're Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. You can't do that. Put your ass in the game, pay for some fucking players placements, stop fucking bitching. Or sit in the sidelines and think that your music is so dope, it's so organic, it's gonna grow, you're gonna blow up, it's gonna be like fucking Pharrell and Happy, and people are gonna do 24-hour music videos for it, and you're gonna go diamond, and you're gonna be rich and win all these Grammys without ever paying for marketing. You think it's gonna happen to you? By all means, brother, sister, go right ahead. But for those of you that are real, click the link in the bio. We include playlist placements in our packages. We'll shop you a salsa, our network of 400, 500 playlists. And when it gives you an opportunity to at least get heard, and they listen for 31 seconds, you get paid. Click the link in the bio if you're on Instagram. Click the link in the description box if you're on YouTube. Mount the pond. Y'all stay true.
Scrub. Say that you ain't studying me. Scrub. Feel like that you stalking me. Scrub. If you don't like what you
Group82music.com.